Hi, everybody, and welcome back to Fairly Unbalanced with Mike Tallon. It's been a couple of weeks since we've spoken, and I've been thinking today about an essay that was written by Karl Marx in the 1850s, because clearly I'm a liberal commie bastard. Um, but in this essay called The 18th Brumaire of Louis Bonaparte, Karl Marx famously noted that, in his words, history repeats itself first as tragedy and then as farce. It's a great line, and there's some truth to it. But the reason it's on my mind is because the modern GOP seems to have gotten, as they get everything ass backwards, they've gotten that ass backwards too. Rather than doing tragedy then farce, a few weeks ago, the House Republican caucus did the farce, and now we're coming up to the tragedy. And the tragedy, if it comes to pass, is truly devastating. We're at the scene in the movie where the asteroid has been discovered and it is barreling towards Earth at 100,000 miles an hour. Only for us, the asteroid is in the shape of Matt Gaetz' giant rectangular head. It's a 10-mile wide giant rectangular Matt Gaetz head, and it is streaming towards the Earth. And if it makes contact, Katie, bar the door. Um, And I'm pretty sure that everybody here who watches these things knows what that is. The existential crisis that is potentially facing the United States and the global economy is the United States debt ceiling crisis, which we seem to schedule about once every 2 years now, though there's no reason to. I'm also going to presume that everyone here who watches these videos understands that what this really is the time when the United States Congress has to simply pay the bill that the United States Congress has previously rung up. Only it is not treated that way, has not been treated that way in recent political cycles by the GOP. Instead, it is being treated as if it's a political hand grenade, and someone on the Republican side sees the debt ceiling crisis approaching and walks into the middle of Congress, pulls the pin on the grenade, and says, "Give me what I want, or I blow up the world." And so far, though we've done this 2 or 3 times now with seriously negative impacts on the credit rating of the United States, which is the basis of the entire global economy, we've never actually gone over the edge and destroyed the whole world. But now with this asteroid in the shape of a 10-mile wide giant Matt Gaetz rectangular head barreling at the Earth, and the irresponsibility level of these people, I'm not sure we can avoid it. And if it happens, it truly is. It's going to be like nothing we've ever seen before. To quote, I believe, Donald Trump. But what's really been on my mind today is how Kevin McCarthy, as gimpy and worthless a man as has ever walked the earth, has been going around on the talk shows with this Zen-like calm to him, and he has been saying to all of the gullible talking heads who run these shows that he has a sensible position. He's saying, look, the debt ceiling crisis is approaching, and all we, the responsible GOP, wants to do is have a conversation with the White House about how we can avoid this. But he's not actually saying the full sentence. So I want to offer a political life hack to people who watch this video, ways that you can think about that when Kevin McCarthy makes that statement, or when any Republican makes that statement, when your racist terrible uncle makes it at the dinner table and says, look, we just want to have a conversation. The life hack is to add the second half of that sentence, which is, we just want to have a conversation about eating your grandmother. We just want to have a conversation about cannibalizing old people, because that's really what this is about. In the argot of Washington, in the jargon of the political world inside the Beltway, the conversation the GOP wants to have is a discussion about cutting non discretionary spending. Non discretionary spending is Social Security and Medicare. There are some other programs as well, but Social Security and Medicare are the lion's share of non discretionary social spending, and that's what they want to cut. And so when Kevin McCarthy goes on television and says, we just want to have a conversation, you insert into that, I will insert into that the rest of it, which is we just want to have a conversation about devouring grandma. And the simple truth is, you never get into a conversation, a simple, polite conversation about eating grandma, because once you've entered that conversation, the only thing left to discuss is how much are you going to eat? Are you going to eat both of her legs or just one of her arms? And the answer is no, we don't do that here. Social Security and Medicare need to remain sacrosanct unless Congress wishes to have this conversation when it is not the whole global economy on the hook. And if they did, then no one would ever cut it because it would be terrible politics. And so we can't let this giant meteor of Matt Gaetz' head crash into the earth, and we cannot eat grandma, and I don't know exactly how we're going to find our way around this. It'll be the subject of a future video, I'm sure, but we cannot do that. So when Kevin McCarthy says he just wants to have a nice conversation, my suggestion is that you suggest that you have something else to do that day, and you're not going to discuss eating grandma. Anyway, we'll pick up with these again. Thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, discuss, comment, all of those beautiful things. And as always, love to you all, unless you're a Nazi or you want to eat my grandma.